Welcome to the home of everything, but in this instance the British Grand Prix at Silverstone, the 10th round of the GP4 2019 season. The circuit built on an old World War II airfield, the 14th time we've been here at the British Grand Prix, the 6th of 9 tracks of course to be on the OC calendar every season. The track also located between two counties, Northamptonshire with the national circuit and Buckinghamshire, the international circuit. Ferrari, interestingly, have won here the most over the past 13 seasons, 5 times, almost half the times we've been here. Of course, we're racing on the current new layout that we have been since 2010. 52 laps around this circuit length of 5.891 kilometers, 18 corners, lap record set by Armagh Car last season of 128.785. Now, of course, championship-wise, it'll be important for Joseph Willows to try and get a win back here. Of course, he won last season, which is good, but for this season, Franco Lopez absolutely dominated last time out at the Red Bull Ring. No one was even close to winning that race, so it's going to be very interesting to see if it can change this season. The tyres we'll be using for this race will be the hard tyres, and the practice results are coming up on your screen right now. And it was Joseph Willows who took the top spot in practice ahead of the two Mercedes, Laura Chung in 4th, Lucas Gao 5th, Mackenzie 6th, Catalan 7th, Tomaselli, De Rosa and Federi completing the top 10. But that was practice, and this was qualifying, and it wasn't a Brit on pole. It was, in fact, Franco Gamba taking his first ever OC pole for Red Bull, snatching it from Joseph Willows right at the end of the session by just 41 thousandths of a second on row 2. It's Franco Lopez and Laura Chung from Mercedes and Ferrari. On row 3 of the grid, we have Armagh Car from Mercedes and Miklos Gal for Red Bull. And the best of the rest on row 4 of the grid coming up is George Roque taking his best qualifying of the season in 7th, head of Kirospa De Rosa 8th for McLaren. On row 5 of the grid, we have Jamie Mackenzie for Renault and Paolino Tomaselli for McLaren. Now, on row 6, we have Evan Byrne for Renault and Matteo Catalan for Toro Rosso. That is row 6 of the grid. On row 7th, 13th and 14th, we have Jared Fosbury for Haas and Andrea Federi, 14th for Alfa Romeo. And coming to the 8th row of the grid, we have Chris Chatfield for Haas and Gabriel Gomez, 16th for Alfa Romeo. On row 9, we have Roland Moitin for Racing Point and David Kupok for Toro Rosso. Not the best qualifying for Moitin actually, but he's still in qualifying stats comfortably beating Roque. On row 10 of the group, we have Felix Sontag and Rosetta Martinez for Williams and Mana respectively. And on the last row of the group, we have Lean Commander for Williams and Maxim Titkov for Mana. So there we go. That is the grid for the British Grand Prix. But surprisingly enough, it will not be wet. A non-wet British Grand Prix. Who would have thought? So it is going to be a dry race, so this is going to be very, very interesting indeed. So we're now heading onto the grid, 52 laps of the British Grand Prix, the home of British Motorsport, and we are about to get this race underway as the 5 lights are now coming on here for the British Grand Prix. As the 5 lights are now on, who's going to get the jump? And we're underway, and it looks like Willows has made a pretty decent start. He's alongside Gam, and I think he might even take the lead coming into Abbey here. And as Willows on the inside, can he take it? No, not quite. Gamma takes the line around the outside, has the momentum, and keeps the lead. But Willows was right there. And a battle for third place between Chung and Lopez there. And I think there's a car off on the side, and I think there is. I don't know who that is. That's a McLaren of... that is Tomaselli who is out. So at the first corner, or I say the first corner, at turn 3, coming into the loop, the arena, and it has happened again. And let's have a look. It was on board with Evan Byrne. And, Byrne got hit from behind, and he went into Tomaselli. And it looks like it was actually... Jared Fosbury went around the outside there of Matteo Catalan and then just went right into the back of Byrne, who then went into Tomaselli, chain reaction, and that has caused his retirement. So Fosbury had actually gained a few places as well from that, but not for long. Meanwhile, this is Roland Moitin making a launch. I think it's out of 3 cars, well I say 2, and making contact there with the Alfa Romeo there. And that was quite a move. And then this is, I think, Maxim Titkov in last, going into the back of the Williams. Somehow the Williams not getting damaged, but Titkov did. Meanwhile, this is the battle for the lead already. Williams trying desperately to take the lead away from Gamma, but of course Lopez is there as well, so Williams needs to be careful unless he goes around the outside. And is Williams going to make the move stick? It's so nearly contact. I think, does Williams have the run? The answer is no. However, Lopez does, and he's up in 2nd place. So let's take a look at that again. So already battles going on the first lap here at the British Grand Prix, heading up down towards Stowe. So Williams was trying to go around the outside of Franco Gamba. I think he obviously forgot that Lopez was there as well. And coming off the exit of the corner, heading into Vale. And Lopez takes 2nd place, and now he's right behind Franco Gamba. Unfortunately, he does not seem to have the pace to get away from the top guys at the moment. Lopez might even try and make a move coming into Brooklands. He's on the inside, making a move alongside Franco Gamba. The two Francos battling each other. Lopez on the inside, is he through? And yes, he is. He takes the lead, or is he? Gamba's still on the inside, so he might have to run to the corner, but unless Lopez gets a run around the outside onto the old pit straight, coming off Woodcote, as they head up into Copse. But it looks like Gamba, I think, has got the run and keeps the lead, and Willows is still there, so Willows might even try to take second place back. Willows might even try to go for the lead. No, surely not. He's not going to do a Verstappen, and Gamba relinquishes the lead to Lopez, who does go around the outside of Copse. You rarely ever see that happening. So let's have a look at that again. So Lopez had the run coming on to the back straight on the into Brooklands, coming into Luffield, coming through the left hand, and now through Luffield on the right, and it looked like Gamba was going to keep the lead. You can see he was right on the inside, and he was past him almost the whole way, but Lopez keeping it around the outside and had the run. But it looked like Gamba still had the position going to the corner. He was still ahead, and I thought Lopez was surely going to have to give that up. But Lopez went around the outside, which is quite an incredible move. I don't think I've very rarely ever seen that. And that is how it should be done, owing to a real-life incident between a Mercedes and Red Bull. But here is Laura Chung, actually, a replay of her behind Willows. Does she make a move past Willows into third? See, look at these guys trying to make it 3 wide, and I think Chung goes around the outside of Willows as well. So 2 moves around the outside of Copse there, which you rarely ever see. And now Gamba is under pressure. He's got a whole stack of cars behind him here. Gamba going to try and maybe make the move back on the inside of Lopez, coming into Stowe, but he can't do it. Then he's got Chung behind, and Gal and Carr side by side behind as well. And it looks like Gal, I think, just about keeping the position there. But all 5 cars within about 2 seconds of each other, or I'd say 6 cars actually, as they come onto the front straight. Now here we are on board with Nicholas Gao, who's right behind Joseph Willows in the Ferrari, and there's Laura Chung trying to battle with Franco Gamba. The 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Ferraris attacking each other. Willows going to try and make a move on the inside. He's going to go past Chung. Will he even try to go past Gamba? The answer is no, and he can't quite get past Chung, but I think Gal's going to get past Willows as well, and Gal moves up into 4th position. And that's a great move there by Nicholas Gao. We have a car out, and it's Felix Sontag for Williams, who is out, and he's pulled up at the exit of the old pits, coming through Copse, and I think there was a water leak there that was the cause of his issue. He was running, actually, had been a decent start actually, was running in 13th place, so he gained quite a few positions from the start, but unfortunately for Sontag, he is now going to get nothing from this race. You really got a feel for the guy. So coming through into the arena, or the loop as it's called, section of the track, and yeah, and there it goes. So that was the official confirmation of the time. Meanwhile, Gabriel Gomez actually in 10th, moving up 6 positions on the start. So he's made a good start to this race. Meanwhile, Laura Chung all over the back of Gamba now. Meanwhile, Willows is all over the back of Gal behind. And is he going to go around the outside? Although Gal might try and make the move, and he has, and he's up into 3rd, and he makes through past Chung, and that was a fantastic move there by Nicholas Gal. And so it seems that Franco Gamba is at the moment really holding everyone up. And Gal took advantage of Chung going way too wide there. So lucky there wasn't contact. There's always problems coming around there at Stowe. We've seen numerous accidents there over the years. Now, meanwhile, this is Gal on the back of Franco Gamba. Lopez already 4 seconds clear up front, so he's already streaking away at this moment in time. So Gal needs to get this move done ASAP. Meanwhile, the 2 Ferraris are still battling side by side, and I think Willows may have actually got past Chung there, I believe, unless Willows was still ahead of Chung. But Gal right on the back of Franco Gamba, coming on through Maggots and Beckett's, now onto the hangar straight, heading towards Stowe. Now Gal on the inside, Carr is there as well, trying to make a move on the back of the Ferrari there. Gal on the inside, is he going to make it through? And the answer is yes, he's now through, up into 2nd place, and we'll see if he can go after Franco Lopez in the lead at this moment in time. But yes, at the moment Lopez is streaking away, and that's exactly what he needs, not exactly what Willows needs in 4th. And I was right actually that he did actually try and attempt to sneak through there, and that was Carr also trying to pass the Ferrari there, coming through into Stowe. And now meanwhile Willows on the inside of Gamba. This is for 3rd, and Gamba just about holding on, but I think Willows might have the momentum off the corner. I think he's up into 3rd. Is he? Yes, no, and no, he can't quite do it there. Now meanwhile Carr is right behind these 2 as well. In other words, he's just hanging on to the back of these guys. He's not had a lot of pace this weekend, although Lopez has been on another planet in the last race, and at the moment in this race. Willows once again trying to get past Gamba. Gal, as you can see, is streaked away in the distance. He's got away now. Willows is going to try and go around the outside here. Meanwhile, Carr trying to make a move on Chung behind, but failing. Now, meanwhile, Roke is going to try and get himself involved with this, and the Alfa Romeo of Gabriel Gomez, and Roke trying to make a move there on Carr. Now Gabriel Gomez is there, so you've almost got a 6-car battle a 7-car battle, in fact, really, for 3rd place. Cars getting involved everywhere. Meanwhile, Willows right behind the Red Bull, and he's not going to be able to make it stick here, so he'll have a good chance coming onto the Brooklyn Straight. So as he comes round the arena part of the circuit, now Willows is going to be in the slipstream of Gamma. This should be a easy move if he's close enough, which I'm not actually quite sure he is. I think he's in the slipstream, so he might try and make him a late move here. Willows moves to the inside. It will Gamba try and move over, and he does, so Willows unable to make it stick through there. So of course Chung is still there as well, so great battling so far, and we've only been 8 laps in as well, and everything is going on at this moment in time. Meanwhile, I think Roke's fallen into the clutches of Gabriel Gomez behind him at this moment in time. Meanwhile, this is Willows on the inside of Gamba, and is he going to make the move stick here? The answer is no, he still can't do it. Now Chung is going to catch up, and so is Armor Car. We're going to now see a 4-man battle. Meanwhile, I think Gomez has actually got past Roke behind, actually, for 7th position, and you can see, yep, the Alfa Romeo is in front of the Racing Point. Meanwhile, Chung make a little mistake actually coming out of Maggots and Beckett's there. Now Car's right behind, and Gomez is there as well, and he's got the best momentum out of all of them. Heading on to the back straight, and meanwhile Car's going to try and make a move on the inside, is he? And Gomez is still there. And Car going a little bit wide there. Gomez can't quite make the move stick there. We can see Chung going a little bit wide there, getting a little bit out of shape, getting a bad run through there. And unfortunately that held Car off, and that's now forced Car to defend from Gabriel Gomez behind him. And yeah, so this was Willows once again trying to get past Gamba. Does he finally make the move stick? He's been stuck behind a few laps now. He's on the inside, and is he through? And it looks like yes he is, and finally actually Gamba made a little mistake there actually, which allowed him to sneak through. Meanwhile, this is the replay of Gomez passing Roke about half a lap ago, and it's a pretty easy move. Gomez really going past Roke very easily there, although he does have light fuel, Gomez. It probably explains why he's so quick, but even so, it's so far been a good race for Gabriel Gomez. As we look at Franco Lopez at the moment, his gap out front to Gal is about I think it was 4 seconds. Meanwhile, Gomez battling with Car on the inside. Oh no! And that's the first, the second retirement of the race. But Armor Car is out in front of his home fans. And Gabriel Gomez, I was just saying about having such a good race, and unfortunately he has really just let himself down there. And Gomez tried to move on the inside. It was never on, and just caught the end of Car's car. And yep, that was his race done and dusted just like that. So Armor Car is out of the race, and that will not do much good for a championship. Meanwhile, this is Matteo Catalan going past De Rosa for 7th place, and goes past him very easy there. Gomez down to 9th, of course, but he got to pit. I think that was Chris Chatfield actually up in the points for Haas. So he's had a good start to this race so far. Now De Rosa might even try and make a move back on Matteo Catalan, coming on to the front straight, going to make it Beckett's. Meanwhile, Miguel Scal coming in very early after just 10 laps, so it looks like he might be doing the 3-stop strategy here. Now, I don't think the 3-stop is necessarily the way to go around this track. I'd say it's probably the 2-stop. But it's all about if the drivers value, I suppose, just absolutely going hammer and tong on fresher tyres than necessarily strategy. The stop for Red Bull, pretty quick there, 4 seconds. Laura Chung actually is in as well. There's another pit call, I think that's for Martinez, who's going to be coming in as well. And I think there's one other pit call, though that might have been possibly Gomez, I think. But Chung is in. Slightly slower stop. Meanwhile, Chris Chatfield actually has had a good start now, comfortably into the points for Haas. Roke now temporarily up into 4th position. Willows is going to be pitting this lap as well, so it looks like a number of drivers coming in very early, it seems. So Chung now coming out in, outside of the points, down in, I think it's 13th place. Might even be 14th as Lin Capana is there, but Capana I think is going to go past, and he does, so Chung comes out in 14th. Martinez is in, as you can see. Willows at the moment going to be pitting this lap, as I said. Gamba is falling away. Unfortunately, just seemed to have the pace, Gamba, compared to what he had in qualifying, which is a shame, but at least he finally does have that pole position on his CV, which is, of course, a good thing. Meanwhile, Gal is right behind the Haas of Chatfield here. He's going to have to try and get past him very quickly if he wants to maybe even try and get in front of Lopez. He pitted earlier. I don't know. I think Lopez is going quite long on this stint, but Gal will need to get past Chatfield very quickly. And I'm not sure he's going to make it through here, which he can't. So he's going to get himself ready for a run onto the back straight. So, although he's a little bit far behind, he took a bad run through there. Now Willows going into the pits for his first stop of the race. So let's see. I think it's going to be a 3-stop for him as well. It looks like a number of drivers are probably going to be doing 3 stops here today, it seems. So Willows comes in, and here we go. We are going to see now what he does fuel-wise, and yep, it's going to be pretty light, so I would think that is going to be 3 stops. So he comes out of the pits, 5.9. So not as quick as Red Bull, who always seem to have the quickest stops, it seems. And coming out of the pits, it's actually quite a short. The pits, I should say, are quite short. They're not that long in length. It's actually, you can make a very quick pit stop and not actually lose out as much, really. Willows comes out, I think, just about inside the top 10, does he? Nope, I think just outside, down in 12th place. Meanwhile, this is Gal still once again trying to get past Chatfield, and he will now that Chatfield goes into the pits. So he's finally through. Meanwhile, this is Willows right behind Roller Motion in the racing point, as he's coming into the last few corners of the circuit, right behind Moichin, and then there I think there's Kupok in front as he comes now through Club, now onto the Hamilton Straight. I love saying that name. So at the moment, Lopez to Gamba, the lead, 13 seconds, but Gamba is absolutely no threat to Lopez whatsoever. Willows, meanwhile, trying to get past Moichin there, but failing. Kupok is right behind the Renault of Jay McKenzie in front of him. As you can see, Chris Chatfield, who we just saw going into the pits as well. So now we look at behind. As you can see, Willows is actually right behind Moichin, so I think Willows might even make a move on Moichin if he's close enough. He's in the slipstream. Will he try a late move? And the answer is no, not quite. Still would need to be a little bit closer. So as they come through Luffield and now heading through to Woodcote. Meanwhile, we're looking at the racing point of Roker at the moment. Temporarily is in 3rd position. Had a solid race so far, kept himself out of trouble, and actually kept up with the leading group of cars as well, actually. Meanwhile, Byrne trying to get past Maxime Titkoff coming through Abbey there, through Farm, but unable to make the move stick. So, meanwhile, Mateo Catalan's in 4th, De Ross is 5th. Kupok, meanwhile, is right behind Mackenzie coming through Maggots and Beckett's, now coming through the exit now through Chapel. And meanwhile, of course, Willows is right behind Moichin behind, so we could see 2 moves here, although Kupok's going to try and go around the outside. Meanwhile, Willows is now on the inside of Moichin. Is he going to make the move on the inside? And he does. Willows might even make 2 places here, which he does. Gets past with Moichin and Kupok there. So, good move there by Joseph Willows, and he nearly goes into the back of Mackenzie there. That was close. Fortunately, he doesn't, and so he's able to continue on his way, but at least he's got through 2 cars there. Only Mackenzie to get through now, and then he'll have plenty of clear air in front of him. So as we look at Willows now closing up to the back of the Renault of Mackenzie, heading through Abbey Farm and now into turn 3 into the arena. So Willows going to be right behind Mackenzie. If he gets a good run off the corner, then he surely should be able to make a move coming down Brooklyn Straight. And he's going to be right in the slipstream. Mackenzie, this should be a pretty easy move. Willows moves to the left. Mackenzie doesn't really put up any defence at all, and so Willows going to be through on the inside, and yep, very nicely done, and he's now up into 8th position. Mackenzie down to 9th now. Kupok can hopefully attempt to try and get through him again. We're looking at, of course, Mateo Catalan in 4th place. I think Roke actually in 3rd is going to be pitting this lap, I believe. So we're going to see another car in the pits. So I think this will probably be about 3 stopper, maybe a 2 if they decide to go that ballsy, but we'll see. So Roke now coming through into Stowe, and then he'll jink to the right and make his way into the pits. So now into the pits he comes. So let's have a look at what fuel they put into Roke's car, and we will see how if he'll be on a 3 or a 2 stopper or not. So as we look at Roke coming in, heading towards his pit box, and here we go. He is in, and let's see. So changing all 4 tyres, fuel is on, and yep, I would say that's probably 3-stop strategy, 3-stop territory. The amount of fuel they put in there, 5.9 seconds to stop there. So Roke comes out, and he'll come out, I think, just outside of the top 10, I believe. So as he comes out, and yes, he does. He's going to come out, looks like, down in 12th position. It looks like, as he now comes out of the pits in P12. If he comes out in front of Kapana, which he will do, because Kapana's only just coming through the corner, and there's Roke, so he's clear. Meanwhile, Chung has now got up to that batch of cars there. Meanwhile, Gal passing the sister car of Mateo Catalan in the Toro Rosso for 3rd, so he's now back onto the podium spot. So as we now look at Laura Chung, is now going to close up to the back of Moichin, Kupok and Mackenzie, this battle that's been going on. So as we look at Chung coming through now right behind the racing point of Moichin, and I wonder if Moichin might try and do his teammate Roke a favour, because of course Roke has come out behind Chung in the stops, but could allow Roke to close up if he manages to hold him up for a couple of laps or so. But we'll see. The moment Q-Pop once again trying on the inside there, although actually Roland Moichen is pitting this lap, actually, as a matter of fact, so maybe not, but Moichen going to try to squeeze his way through there, but unable to do so. But he can still get a run coming on to the back straight, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Now coming on to the back straight, but Moichen, of course, is now under pressure from Chung behind, although Moichen does have the slipstream of Q-Pop in front of him. And Q-Pop once again trying on the inside of Mackenzie. Moichen is there, might even try and make a move on Q-Pop. He's on the inside, which I think he's going to make the move for about 2 seconds. And now he'll go into the pitch, and Chung actually he's going to sneak his way past Q-Pop there. It's a good move from her, managing to sneak her way past Q-Pop in the process. Now all she needs to do is go after Jay Mackenzie in front of her, and then she'll be clear of the traffic, and then it'll be Willers, the next car in front, actually. Moichen, of course, in the pits, so he's going to come out way outside the top 10. And Jay Mackenzie is going to be out, and Jay Mackenzie has an issue yet again. And would you believe it? Jay Mackenzie just not had any luck this season. I believe that's it. I think his 5th retirement in the last 6 races, and Renault having a torrid season. Well, certainly for Mackenzie, it's been a torrid season. Burnet's not been really that much better. But wow, Mackenzie is out yet again. Of course, remember in France he retired with only, I think, he retired when he was running in the points there. And unfortunately for Mackenzie, it's happened to get a transmission failure for him. So he is going to get no points from this race. It looked like actually he was on the one stop. I don't think he's actually pitted yet. But unfortunately for Mackenzie, he's going to be getting nothing from this race. And you really got to feel for him. Just nothing going his way at the moment, and there it was, the failure coming in to effect, and so he pulled off straight away, nearly actually, I remember, tagging the car of Q-Pop there. Fortunately he didn't, so no more damage was done there. Meanwhile, we're looking, of course, at Miglascal, who at the moment is running in 3rd, about 23 seconds off the leader Lopez, who still has not pitted yet. Meanwhile, Federi is set to come into the pit. I think he's just gone clean around the outside there of De Rossa on the back straight there, coming into Stowe as he goes into the pits. So that was quite a move there by Federi. Meanwhile, Franco Gamba is going to be coming in for his first stop of the race. So Gamba, who of course took his first pole in qualifying, and unfortunately in the race has not had the pace compared to the rest of the pack, but it'll still, as I said, have that pole position on his CV. Meanwhile, this is George Roque on the back of David Q-Pop in the Toro Rosso. And now, is he going to make a move coming into the first corner? You don't see that many overtakes into the first corner. He's going to have a look on the inside. Not able to make the move stick there. So, unfortunately, not good for him if he wants to have any chance of catching up to Laura Chung in front. So, as we look at Franco Gamba in second, going to come in the pit. So, Gao will take second position away from him. I think Lopez is still going to be going for another couple of laps or so. Another few laps, and then eventually he will pit. So, meanwhile, Joseph Willers on the back of Kirosova De Rossa. This is for 5th position. De Rossa, who has not pitted yet either. And so Willers is going to try and make a move on the inside of the McLaren. And he's through. Makes it up into P5 there. Pretty simple move for him. And meanwhile, Franco Gamba, of course, we're looking, is going to be jigging to the right and making his first pit stop of the race. So I imagine this will be a 2-stop race. I think a 3-stop would be a big mistake at this point. But as Gamba comes in, and so here we go, into the pits he comes, and meanwhile from race control, Gabriel Gomez has received a 20-second time penalty for causing the incident with car 14 Armagh car. Not really much of a surprise there. Would have been surprised if there wasn't a penalty given, but yeah, there we go. So Gamba coming in for his first stop of the race, and let's see where he comes out. Quite a slow stop actually, I think 6.7 seconds. And so we are going to see where he comes out on the circuit. So it is going to be, of course, a 2-stopper. It's a lot of fuel they put in. So he's going to be very quick at the end. He might even actually come up behind Chung here. And if he does, I think Chung might even jump Gamba in the stops here. So Gamba comes out and Chung is definitely in front. So Gamba is going to have to deal with Laura Chung, who has jumped, you could say, Gamba in the stops. But I think Gamba will be pretty quick. Well, I think so anyway. With fresh fuel. Meanwhile, of course, Lopez still way out front at the moment. Meanwhile, looking at Federi there, right behind the car there. Meanwhile, Roque still behind David Q-Pop in the Toro Rosso, still unable to make the move through up into 8th places, not doing Roque's race a whole lot of good. Now right behind in the slipstream of the Toro Rosso, Roque now on the inside. Is he going to make the mistake on the inside? Surely this will be the move. And Roque finally is through up into 8th past David Q-Pop. So that's another position gained for the Racing Point. Now he's finally clear. Meanwhile, Lopez still going to be going for probably another 3 laps or so. So once they get into the 20 circles, it will definitely be a 2-stop for Lopez. He's about 20 seconds ahead of Gal. So Gal is gaining on him, so Lopez will come out behind Mingles Gal. So Gal will take the lead, but crucially, of course, Gal is going to be on a 3, and Lopez is going to be on a 2, unless Gal decides to go on a 2. I'm not sure, as Willis is going to go around the outside there of Mateo Catalan and take third position. A great move there from the British driver. As we now look through the rest of the order, there's Fosbury in 17th. There's Moitian trying to get past Martinez in front, and he can't quite make the move stick there. Past the Filipino as they come through, and there's a pit call there. I couldn't quite see who that was for. It was for one of the front runners, I believe. Was that? No, I think was it Willows? It may be Willows. This is very close here between Chatfield, Campana, and Federi there, and so that could have gone very badly wrong. Meanwhile, Mateo Catalan is now in the pits for his first stop of the race, and he's actually done a pretty solid job actually. So it was the Italian who was the one being called into the pits. So let's see where he comes out on the circuit. He's had a good race so far, Catalan, but had good pace really, and he's definitely going to be in with a shout of some good points today. So as Catalan comes in to the pits, and we are going to see where he comes out. So he's obviously going to be doing the 2-stop. We're going to be a light fuel here as well actually. And so there's another pit crew getting ready to come out as well. 6.4, not exactly a quick stop there. As we've got a yellow flag on the circuit, this Campana is off, and so he's managed to keep going, but he's going to have to go in the pit. I think he's got damage, and what happened here? And it was contact. It was actually from the Haas of Chris Chatfield, who tried to make a move there, and Chatfield is unfortunately out of the race in front of the British crowd. That is unfortunate for him, and so it was inevitable to happen. The first time it's happened, and we've been 22 laps in. We've seen bigger accidents than that at Stowe before, but fortunately that's relatively minor actually. But Campana managing to get himself to the pits, which of course were all right there. Meanwhile, Catalan has come out in 10th position, and meanwhile Chung is going on the inside and passing De Rosa for 4th place there. So he makes the move through past the Polish driver. Meanwhile, of course, Gal now in 2nd position. Lopez, who's still not pitting yet, but he's going to be pitting surely either next lap or the lap after 23 or 24. This is Titkoff trying to pass Fosbury, and I think the yellow flag had just about gone, so he may have got away with that. I don't know, but he didn't make it through anyway. Better to be safe than sorry. So as we look through, there's Federi in 11th position. There's Willis at the moment in 3rd. He's going to be pitting in a few laps as well. Pit call actually for Franco Lopez, who is going to be pitting this lap. So there we go. Could have gone maybe another lap more, but I suppose with Gal closing on him, the gap I think was about 17 seconds. I think it was. So of course Lopez will come up behind Gal, but crucially Gal will still have to make essentially 2 more stops. 15 seconds the gap actually is, in fact. So as Lopez now stuck behind this Williams, this not Rocket Williams, he's about to lap, coming on to the old pit straight, coming through Woodcote, and so he's going to make the move heading into Copse, and he now passes the Williams there. Q-Pop meanwhile is in the pits for Toro Rosso. So as you look, Lopez heading towards Maggots and Beckett's coming through it, then he'll head through the last bit of it, Chapel, and so there's Lopez going through on board with the Argentinian, the leader of the race, and of course the championship leader. Absolutely dominated the last round at the Red Bull Ring. No one was even close to dethroning him at that race, and so far at this race it looks to be going possibly the same way, pace wise. No one seems to be coming really near him. Of course he will come out behind Gal, but Gal will have to make 2 more stops, whereas Lopez will only have to make 1. So you would think Lopez would be the favourite to win this race. Meanwhile, we've got another yellow flag out on the circuit, and it's Franco Gamba who's off, and he spins. And what has happened to him there? Did he have a collision, or did he go off by himself? He was behind the McLaren of De Rosa, and just goes wide and then spins. And unfortunately for Gamba, his race going from bad to worse. And yeah, there's not really much else you can say about that. Just not been his day. Had such a good qualifying. Well, he couldn't have really had any better to take his first pole position, but unfortunately it's just not gone as well as the Racing Point there wrote, just sneaking through. But we're looking at Franco Lopez, who is now coming out of the pits from his first stop of the race, and of course he'll be doing 1 more for the enemy, while Titkoff is in as well in last. Willow's coming through in third, but Lopez will come out in front of him in second, which of course is important for him. So Miklas Gal does take the lead of this race, and Gal will lead not for long, as he now comes in for his second stop. I mean, I don't think it's going to go to the end. I think it would be interesting to see if he would, but I don't think that's going to happen. So as now we look at Gal coming into the pits, and here we go. And let's see, and yep, it's going to be a two-stopper. I mean, they could have tried to go, for the two, but they decided to go for the three. So it looks like it's probably going to be Franco Lopez who wins his race, and I'm not saying anything yet. Anything could still happen. We're only about halfway through this race, but Gal will come out, it looks like, in third position. Meanwhile, Willows actually is pitting this lap, so Gal actually needs to come out ahead of Chung. This will be important. If he does, Gal come out ahead of Chung, and it's going to be pretty close. Gal needs to come out ahead here, and he does just about come out ahead of the Ferrari there. Meanwhile, Franco Lopez setting the fastest lap, stamping out his authority on the rest of the field. So as we look at Franco Gamba coming through, as we look at De Rosa making a bit of a lock-up, and so unable to make the move through. As we look at Miklas Gal in second position, but it looks like Lopez is really showing his pace. Now he's on fresher tyres, despite the fact that Gal's just come in. So, yep, I think it looks like it's going to be Lopez at this moment in time, as meanwhile Willows comes out in fifth position from his stop behind Roque. Gabriel Gomez is in for another stop. Of course, he can't be held up for 20 seconds, so that time will be added on at the end of the race. Q-Poc battling with Rosetta Martinez there. That is for P12 as they come through the last corner onto the Hamilton straight. So Q-Poc going to try and make a move on Martinez into the first corner, and he's not going to be able to do it there. You don't see many moves through that corner anyway. As now we look at Miklas Gal in second position at this moment in time. Lopez in first, and you see Lopez, despite the fact Gal's just come into the pits, Lopez extending his gap over Miklas Gal. So I think that says everything you need to know about the pace between the two. It's gone up even more, another tenth. Lopez has got ahead of Gal here, so I really just don't think Gal has got an answer to Lopez at this moment in time, and it just doesn't look like it is going to be Gal's day. I thought he might have had a glimmer of hope, but I think that this glimmer of hope has just been extinguished. So as Lopez leading, coming through the first sector, and meanwhile Gal trying to get past the Haas there, and losing a bit more time there, lapping him at a pretty poor spot to do so. And yep, it's gone up to 50.4 now, the gap going up. And meanwhile Laura Chung actually is in the pits for another stop, so George Roque again temporarily moves up into third place, as there's a lock up there from Q-Poc coming through Magnussen Beckett's there, but keeps it on the circuit but loses ground to the car in front. So as we look at it, Gal in second, he's lapped the Haas. Roque is way behind, so at the moment I think Gal looks set to be safe for a comfortable P2, which for him would be very useful for him indeed. So as we look at him coming through Luffield and onto the old pits, as he's now coming across the old start-finish line, heading in towards Cops. Meanwhile, Martinez is in the pits for another stop. Gap Lopez to Gal is 15.6. Roque about 25 seconds behind, but Willows is going to close up to the behind Roque. De Rosa, who I don't think he's actually pitted yet, I'm pretty sure. So, looks like De Rosa is going to be going for the one stop here. Meanwhile, Martinez and Evan Byrne is also in for a stop as well. Obviously for Byrne, ever since the first lap, unfortunately never been able to recover, so it's not been a great race, as I said before, for Renault today. Meanwhile, Willows going to try and go around the outside of George Roque here, coming into Stowe. This could be very sketchy indeed, and fortunately Willows does manage to make it without contact, and actually Roque was going into the pits anyway, so that is a relief for both drivers there. So Roque will come in. So actually the question is, will he try and go to the end, or will he do a three-stopper, will be the big question. So we're going to find out very shortly if Roque decides to go in. I mean, he could if he wanted to, but will he is the big question. So as we look at Gal once again in P2 on his own, no one really near him. Willows in third. I don't think he's really going to threaten. Gamrad fourth. There's Catalan. All these guys are actually quite close to each other in the kind of the mid-pack for the points. The best of the rest per se. But Roque's come out obviously behind this bunch of cars. I think he's come out about 9th or 10th, Roque, I think. but this is actually Catalan who's going to make a move on De Rossa. This is for position. De Rossa not making it easy. Catalan on the inside, and he's through, I believe. Yes, and he makes it through up into P5. Roke did come out, actually, I was right, in 9th position, and so there we go. Yeah, that was a good battle there. Meanwhile, Willow's in 3rd position, coming up to the battle between Titkoff and Fosbury to not be the worst drivers in the order, but see Willow's, look how much he closed on the back of, whoa! That was very, very sketchy right there, and Willow's could have easily run into the back of Titkoff. Unfortunately didn't. I don't even know if there was contact actually between the two. Was there? Looking at the slow-mo, oh, I don't think there was. I think, oh, that was so close, and that could have gone horribly wrong, and Willow's is very lucky to get away there without any damage, but he continues on his way. But yeah, that was very, very close indeed. So as we now look at De Rossa, who again is still going on despite not having made a stop yet, but he's now, however, been passed by Federi there, and now he might even be passed by Chung if he's not careful. Chung not quite able to make the move stick there, but yeah, De Rossa, I think, one of the only drivers still going without a stop yet. Meanwhile, Catalan going past Fosbury, who is just plumb last and having once again a torrid race. That's all we can really say about it, to be honest. But as we look through, there's Gomez in the moment in 10th position. Of course, he'll have that 20-second time penalty at the end of this race, compounding his misery. And he wouldn't finish in the top 10 as things stand, due to obviously that 20 seconds being added on to his race time. So we're looking now at Laura Chung on the back of De Rossa, as Fosbury is actually in the pits as well. Chung on the inside of the McLaren. Is she going to make the move here? The answer is yes, actually she does, and she makes it through past De Rossa for 7th position there. So at the moment the order is looking as follows: Lopez leading ahead of Gal in 2nd, Willows 3rd, Gamma in 4th, Catalan in 5th. That is the top 5 from this race, and Catalan actually not too far behind Franco Gamma in front of him actually. Meanwhile, this is Chung on the back of Federi. This is the battle for 6th position, and Chung, is she going to make it through side by side? And I believe, is she through? Not quite. Oh no, she is. She gets a run off the corner. Meanwhile, De Rossa battling with Roke here. This is for P8, and this will be actually a proper battle for position because De Rossa is pitting, and speak of the devil, he now does pit. So that was a battle for position because, of course, Roke's pitting once more, but De Rossa, this will be his first and only stop of the race. And to be honest, he's actually done pretty well on the stint he's done. He's had a couple of lockups here and there, but he's actually done a good job so far, you have to say. And now he'll be on fresher tyres and a lighter fuel load. So, of course, he'll be going to the end, changes all 4. And, yep, we'll go in. Although the tyre taking a lot of time. It's a very slow stop, actually. The front right there taking a long time for De Rossa. And it's 8.5 seconds that stop, so that could cost him, actually. De Rossa positions later on, but that was a very slow stop. You can see the front right just taking a while to get on there. So is De Rossa now about to come out of the pits, and where is he going to come on the circuit? In, it looks like P12, so he's got plenty of clear air, so we'll see what he makes of it. So as there's Lopez actually just coming around the corner, so fortunately De Rossa's in front of Lopez, so at least he can get the hammer down before Lopez closes up to him. But speaking of Lopez and Gal, I think the gap was up to about 16 seconds. No, make that 18 seconds now, as Gal's about to come across the line, so we'll see the gap now once again. And yep, it is now officially 18.1 seconds, so Lopez has the pace over Gal. And speaking of Red Bull, Matteo Catalan is passing Gal's teammate Gamma. This is for P4, and Catalan is on the inside and making a move past Gamma. That is for position, by the way. And so Gamma will not like that, so he'll want to get back at Catalan, because at the moment Matteo Catalan is on for a top 5 finish. And that would be quite an incredible result for him, you would have to say. And so as we look now at Catalan in P4, there's Willis in P3, so I don't think Catalan's going to quite get as far as P3, even though that would be incredible. But a top 5 finish would be fantastic, particularly beating the better team, Red Bull, at it, or one of them anyway. So meanwhile, Moichin is coming in for his last stop of the race. He's running in the lower reaches of the top 10. Meanwhile, we're looking at Evan Byrne, who's stuck down in 14th position right behind the manor of Martinez. Meanwhile, Gal is coming up to some traffic soon, and at the moment in time, there's not really much he can do. He's on his own in second. He's not going to threaten Lopez for the lead out front, but Willows is not going to threaten him for P2. So, yeah, so what can you do in this situation? Well, you could try and have a go at the fastest lap point, of course, because you can get 1 extra point, and that could come dividends at the end of the season, depending on what position you were in. So, as we look at Gal coming through onto the Hamilton straight, as there's Willows in third, again on his own. There's the top 3 all equally spaced out as much as you can imagine. So Willows coming across there. Now here's Chung going past the other manner I believe that is of Titkoff, running in 6th position as she comes through Stowe there, now heading towards the pit entrance. Now coming through the last few corners. And so she comes through the right-hander, as there's Lopez once again out front. Gap going up lap by lap by lap, now up to 18.4 seconds, and it was actually Titkoff who's in the pits. For Dairy is also in the pits as well for Alfa Romeo, so he'll be going to the end, of course, on this set of tyres. So as we look at Lopez coming down the back straight, it's a very easy race for him at this moment in time, and once again dominating like he did in the Red Bull Ring, going to extend his lead at this moment in the championship, as well as, of course, crucially for him, at least will get third, which would be good for him, at least in front of the British fans, to at least have a podium for a British driver. I mean, just how ironic it would be if the podium was occupied by non-British drivers, but it looks like Willows is set to get at least the final spot on the podium. And there was a driver coming to the pits, I think it was actually Catalan, going to come into the pits for his final stop of the race. So as we look at Franco Gamba, who unfortunately it's not been a particularly great race for him since getting pole position, and he's had to do the best he can, but unfortunately it's not quite gone as well as he wanted to. But at least if he gets some good points from this race, he'll be pretty happy with that. Although ever since really Australia, he had a perfect start to the season, won in Australia, and unfortunately it's not really gone uphill since then. It's gone downhill. It's not really got much better than that. So as we look at the Ferrari of Willows coming through the arena section, as Catalan is now in the pits for his first stop, for his final stop of the race. He of course is running in the top 4, so he's definitely in with a shout of getting a good result, is Catalan. So as we look now at Lopez at the moment in the lead, very comfortable performance by him so far. I mean, we're looking at Jared Fosbury, who's just done absolutely nothing this race. Had a pretty tough race. I'm pretty sure, I don't even know, did he have damage on the... No, he did actually. No, I lie. He did actually have damage on the first lap. He was the one who actually caused that first lap crash, actually, between Byrne and Tomaselli. So I suppose that's the reason why he's so far down. But even so, just been right at the back, just had no pace at all. And Chatfield, who unfortunately got involved in that crash with Campana, definitely was outpacing him this race, that's for sure. Meanwhile, Catalan has come out in 8th position, as he's come up behind Gabriel Gomez, ahead of Kupok in 9th there. So Chung now all over the back of Gamma, so we might actually see another position change very soon. So as you look now at Chung right behind Franco Gamba, coming towards through Magnussen Beckett, and Chung could have the opportunity to get another position up the order for her, as he's right behind the Red Bull of Gamba. Now Chung going to try and go on the inside of Franco Gamba, heading in towards Stowe. It's just about side by side, and Chung is through, and she makes it up into 4th place. So Gamba unfortunately is not going much better for him, so he just needs to pit really soon and get on a fresh set of tyres, and that is a legitimate battle for position, that is. So now as we look at Miguel Scout at the moment in P2, he's getting very close to actually becoming a pit stop behind everybody else. Meanwhile, we're looking at David Kupok at the moment in 9th, but he's going to be pitting probably either next lap or on the lap after. Meanwhile, he's got Federi in the Alfa Romeo, going to go around the outside of him there, which he does, and so Kupok now down to P10, and Federi up to P9 there. Good move by the Italian driver there, so he's now up another position. So as we look at Willows, who's going to be pitting for his last stop of the race, his third and final one, of course, on the podium as well. Franco Gamba actually going to be pitting this lap too, so one of the Red Bulls and one of the Ferraris pitting. Meanwhile, Franco Lopez actually is in the pits as well, and so yep, he's going to be fueled to the end. So I think the gap was about nearly 20 seconds, but I think Gal will probably just about come out ahead of him. But of course, Gal will be pitting one more time anyway, so we close actually to see if Gal can maybe try and hold up Lopez for a couple of laps, but I think not sure it's going to be enough really. But as Lopez coming towards the exit of the pits, and so where is Gal? Is he going to come out ahead? And Gal is, I think, just coming around the corner now, I believe, and yep, there's Gal. So Gal temporarily does take the lead, but Lopez is going to be right behind, so I don't think Gal is going to be able to do much really to stop Lopez at this moment in time. He can have a go, but I'm not sure it's going to be worth it, to be honest. But as we see, Willow's coming out of the pits for his final stop of the race now. So as we look at Gamma and P5, he's going to be pitting obviously this lap too. Lopez in second. You can see Gal in the distance, doesn't need to do anything stupid. Could just let Gal stay in the lead for a couple of laps and then let him pit, but I think Lopez will probably just try and get the move done quickly. And as you can see, look how much he closes around the corner there, around left field. So Lopez might even make the move straight away. He's right behind Gal. He's on the inside, coming into Copse. Lopez, is he going to make it through here? The answer is no, not quite. But he'll probably wait until the hangar straight to make the move past, past Miklas Gal. So as they come through, Maggots Beckett's now coming through Chapel, now onto the back straight, onto the hangar straight, and this would be probably an easy move for Lopez if he makes it through. He'll try and make a move on the inside. Gal is going to try and defend. Lopez is through on the inside, and yep, just like that, he takes the lead. So Gal just had no answer, just absolutely no answer at all to the pace there. But Gambo's coming, obviously he is behind, of course, Catalan, which is no surprise. Meanwhile, George Roque is going to be coming in for his final stop of the race, full racing point on this lap as well. But of course, as I said, Lopez is going to be winning this race, it looks like. Gal just has no answer, and of course Gal will be pitting once more before the end. So it looks to be a pretty comfortable victory at this moment in time for Rico Lopez. Of course, we still have got 10 laps left to go of this race. So as we look at Lopez coming down Brooklyn Straight and now heading in towards Luffield, coming to the left and then going towards the right. As we look at Willows at the moment in third position, Chung, who is not too far behind, but she is going to be pitting once more before the end, I think, as well. Roque, of course, is now in. Gal, of course, will be pitting for his final stop of the race, but he will come out comfortably ahead of Willows as De Rosa laps the manor there. So Roque now in. So he'll be the fastest out of all the guys in front of him, actually. So we'll see if Roque can gain any more positions from his stop. It's actually going to be quite far down the order, actually, despite the fact he was running up in third at some point. But he's going to be down to 8th position. Gambo's just gone past him. Federi's going to go past him as well. And I think De Rosa might even go past him as well. And yeah, I think he's going to be close. And yeah, De Rosa has. So Roque actually all the way down in 10th, actually. A bit lower down than I thought he would finish. But on fresher tyres, he could still gain positions towards the end. Meanwhile, battle there between at the lower reach of the top 10. I think that was Moichin and Byrne. Meanwhile, Gal is now in. Does temporarily take the lead, actually, from Lopez. But, of course, Lopez will take it back. There we go. As it is quite a short pit entry and exit. So Lopez actually setting the fastest lap of the race, as a matter of fact, a 1:26.9. I'm pretty sure that's just completely beaten the last lap record, I think. Gal now coming in, changing all 4 tyres, and there we go. So it's going to be a comfortable second place for Gal, it looks like. I wonder if he could try and maybe go for the fastest lap. It is entirely possible, but Lopez at the certain time is going to be the quickest guy on the circuit, so we'll see if Gal can do that. But if he gets another point for fastest lap, I think he'll be pretty satisfied, along with second place, of course. So now as we look at Gal coming out of the pits, meanwhile we're looking at Chung now coming out of the pits, and she actually is going to come out ahead of Franco Gamma. And of course, crucially, Matteo Catalan is still running in P4 at this moment in time. Quite incredible. And meanwhile, that is Gabriel Gomez, who's just come in for his final stop of the race, actually. He's come out in 10th, so he is going to get a point, and I don't know how far Moichin is behind him. And I suppose it also depends, actually, if he's been lapped, actually, come to think of it. Because if he's been lapped, Moichin, and Gomez hasn't, then that means there won't be, then Gomez will keep 10th position. And oh, contact! Oh, another crash! And Capano is off. He's going to avoid the wall. Nope, he's in the wall. And Capano and Marta having another collision at Stowe. I think that's only actually the second collision we've had actually at Stowe this race. But with 4 laps to go, Campana is out of the race, and Martinez having to go into the pits and change his front wing there. So a crash right at the end of the Grand Prix there with just 4 laps left, and yep, you can see that was going to happen. We haven't seen any cars like flip or go or do several rolls there actually, but we've seen them go into the air. Meanwhile, this is Laura Chung all over the back of Mateo Catalan. This is the battle for P4 as they're coming in. Oh, there's a little bit of contact actually between the two, and they both keep it on the road. But Catalan is going to try and do everything he can to hold on to P4. He's going to have Chung, and he's going to even have probably Franco Gamba close behind as well. I would imagine if Gamba's close. But we're now, of course, onto the final lap of this Grand Prix. The battle for P4 raging on between Catalan and Chung. And there's Gamba just in the background there. So if they hold each other up, then Gamba could get himself involved in it. He might even get himself involved already, because look at the run he's going to have through that corner now as they were battling there. So Gamba is well and truly in it. So this is going to be the battle for P4. And these guys nearly well over a minute behind from Lopez in the lead as they're coming now onto the hangar straight. Gamba is right there, and now Chung is going to try and make the move on Catalan, but Gamba is there as well, so Chung has got to be careful, and Chung goes wide. Gamba could make the move stick here, and oh, there's contact, and somehow Chung gets away without damage, but crucially Gamba makes it up into P5. So, and I'm amazed there wasn't any damage there for Laura Chung. That is incredibly lucky that she didn't get any damage there, and you can see there's the contact right there. Actually, well, there it is, right there. Chung goes up into the air at a fair height, but amazingly gets away without any damage. So that is incredibly lucky. And speaking of Mercedes, we're looking at Franco Lopez, who has, well, never looked back. I thought Gal might have had a chance at winning this race after taking the lead, but Lopez has just been on form yet again. Absolutely flawless as he comes around for the 52nd final time, and Franco Lopez is going to win the British Grand Prix and extend his lead in the championship. What a race it was from him there. So he wins, and he has almost a pit stop gap ahead of Miklos Gal in 2nd position. Meanwhile, Maxi Titko coming across the line in 15th. Moitian just going to miss out on the points in 11th, and he was lapped, and I don't believe Gomez has, so I think Gomez is going to keep 10th position as Kupok just behind Moitian in 12th. There's Jared Fosbury in 16th. Miklos Gal, 2nd position. He'll be very happy with that. Bird will be, well, he won't be happy about it for sure, being hit on the first lap by Jared Fosbury, his main rival. As now Joseph Willows comes across the line in 3rd. He'll be pretty happy with that. Meanwhile, the battle for 4th still raging on. Chung's fallen behind, so Gamba's got one more opportunity to get past Catalan. Coming down the hangar straight, coming into Stowe. Gamba's right behind Catalan, and he's going to try and go around the outside, is he? It's going to be very, very close indeed. Can Gamba do it? He's going to try and go around the outside of Catalan. Is that going to work? And the answer is no, I don't think so. And Gamba got a poor run off the corner. Catalan is going to get 4th. Chung going to try and make the move back on Gamba. But Mateo Catalan, what a performance. He's going to take 4th position for Toro Rosso as he comes across the line. Wow, what a performance. And Gamba comes across the line in 5th. Chung in 6th. Frederi going to take 7th position. He'll be very happy with that for sure. Meanwhile, De Rosso on the one stop 8th, ahead of Roque in 9th, and Gomez does come across the line in 10th, and so I think he will keep 10th because he's the last car on the lead lap, so the time will just add up for him. So that is the race over, so now we'll take a look at the full race results. So Franco Lopez winning ahead of Miklos Gal in 2nd, Joseph Willows 3rd, Mateo Catalan 4th, Franco Gamba 5th, Laura Chung 6th, Andrea Federi 7th, Girosso De Rosso 8th, George 9th, and Gabriel Gomez complete the points in 10th despite that 20-second time penalty. Roller Motion a lap down, of course, in 11th. Franco Lopez setting the fastest lap of 1:26.9. Just absolutely dominant at the front of the field, and the rest of the order is as follows: David Kupok 12th, Evan Byrne 13th, Zeta Masters 14th, Maxine Titkoff 15th, and Jared Fosbury 16th, with Link Parna, Chris Chatfield, Jamie McKenzie, Armar Carr, Felix Sontag, and Paulino Tomaselli, the drivers who did not finish this race. So there we go. Now we're taking a look at the drivers' standings. Lopez extending his lead. It's up to 22 points now. Miklos Gal in 3rd, 10 points ahead of Laura Chung in 4th. Armar Carr, unfortunately, in 5th, way behind. Gamba closing the gap to him is 6th though. Tomaselli 7th. Catalan moving all the way up to 8th ahead of De Rosso and Moitian. Andrea Federi in 11th position. As we now look at the rest of the order, Everburn 12th, Gabriel Gomez 30th, Jamie McKenzie 40th, Roque in 50th, Kupok 16th, Sontag 17th, Chatfield 18th, Fosbury 19th, Titkoff 20th, and then Campana and Martinez, the only 2 drivers this season yet to score a point. And now finally we'll take a look at the drivers, the constructor standings following the drivers racing at Silverstone. Mercedes leading by just 5 points out of Ferrari. It is incredibly close, with Red Bull 60 points behind in third, McLaren in fourth, Toro Rosso moving actually above Racing Point and Alfa Romeo into fifth. Racing Point 6th, Alfa Romeo 7th, Renault in 8th, Haas 9th, Williams 10th, and Manor of course 11th. The driver of the day was of course given to Matteo Catalan. No surprise for managing to get 4th out of that race, so well done to him once again. So there we go, that was the British Grand Prix, a thoroughly entertaining race, particularly at the start, that was for sure. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Don't forget to check out all the links in the description, Twitter, join our Discord, and check out our wiki here. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you for the next round, the German Grand Prix at Hockenheim. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you there.